Good morning. This is the second video of 2014, and what I wanted to just show and talk about a little bit was the dividers that I made for the new year. I made 3 sets of dividers. They're all for my A5 size Filofaxes. I shouldn't say mine. One's for one that I bought as a gift. So I wanted to talk about those a little bit. Each set I made a little bit differently, and so I thought I would just talk about the process, and then if people wanted to make their own, they could kind of use the process that I made. The first that I made was for my mom. I gave her a Filofax for Christmas. It's a Luxe Filofax. They went on sale. They were marked way, way down, and so I get her a calendar every year, but I usually get her one that is, one of those ones you just buy ready-made with the coils in the back. But then I thought, well, maybe I could get her a really nice Filofax one, and then I can just personalize it and make some dividers for her and all that sort of stuff. So what happened was I gave her the Filofax. She really liked it. It's a really beautiful one. It has small rings. I did a video on it and talked about it. I never could use it. I wouldn't be able to use one that slim. But it's perfect for her because she just uses it for keeping track of birthdays and stuff like that. She keeps it by her bed, and by the end of the year it ends up being really beautiful. It's all full of notes and receipts and little articles that she's clipped out of the magazine or the newspaper, and it's just a real reflection of her. So I thought that would be quite neat. I might even give her one of my old ones too to archive her things as she gets new calendars each year. So I wanted to make her some really nice, pretty dividers. So what I used these really nice kind of old-fashioned scrapbook papers that I had. So what I did was I just put the dividers into my chameleon, my black chameleon, just because it has a similar kind of look and texture. Hers is the ebony. Luxe is beautiful. It's like a dark, really rich brown. But I thought that I would just then I could kind of show you what they look like. So what I did was, and then I got this idea from another video, I can't think of the girl's name, Scrap and Mariposa, maybe? Anyway, she had done these really nice videos. This was the most time-consuming one of all of them because I made all the dividers. I don't know if you can see that, but I used the Martha Stewart, like these, to make the tabs, and the tabs are right on the page. Here's an example. This is one I kind of messed up, so I just kept it. Because this was supposed to be the back, but I made it like the front, so I had to fix it. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Because what I did was I would use like a page for the front and then a different contrasting page for the back. I did that with all of my dividers this time because I wanted them all to look really nice and finished and be pretty. Like ones that I'd done in the past, they would have lines on the back, or they'd just be plain white, or I just didn't like that. So I wanted them to be really sort of complete and very pretty. So what I did was I used some cardstock that I had, and I would take like a page like this, just a Filofax page, one that you don't use, and I would stick this, I don't know if you can see that, I would just stick this on, like so, right? I just used one, and I kept moving it down. So I stuck this on, and then I just cut around it. So first I cut around the piece of cardstock, and then I used that as my guide, and then I would take the piece of paper I wanted for the front piece and cut around it, and then I'd cut the back piece, and then I glued all 3 pieces together, which made it quite thick. But I really did, and particularly the first one, because I think one, like this is very thick, thin cardstock, or scrapbook paper, but I also had this one, like for example, that one's thicker, and then I had a double-sided one that was really thick, so some of them ended up being thicker than others. So once I did them all, I used my label maker to make the labels, and then I laminated them. So let me just kind of I'll try very gently to go up here and show you. The label maker I use is this one, Dymo label maker. I have white tape, and I have, white paper tape, and I have clear tape. I prefer the clear, and you'll see what I mean in a second because I use the clear on mine. But when you're doing it on a pattern page like these, it does not show up if it's clear. And so if I turn this over, this is what the back looks like. I was very fussy. I did not put labels on the back for her. I did not feel that that was something that she would need. I felt like that would be enough for her. So, but like if you had, I'll show you a pattern. Like if you had a pattern like this, I'm going to show all these dividers here in a second. But if you had a pattern like this and then use a clear one, say, or even here, see, a clear one, it wouldn't really show up very well. So that's why I use the white papers for her. So, and then like I say, I laminated them. Now, I laminated all my dividers this time. And what I did was, I hole punched them first, and I left my hole punch that I usually use at work. I like to have it at work because sometimes I'll like hole punch something and put it in my book. Like class lists and stuff, I've started even keeping in my marks and everything. So you can just take a page and hole punch it and stick it right in. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I'm kind of tapped out after Christmas. So I went to Walmart. This whole hole punch was 99 cents, and it worked fine. I used it to hole punch everything I'm going to show you today. So, but what I did do was, because particularly this one was quite thick, I hole punched it first, then I put it through the laminator, and then I went and hole punched it again, just so that I wouldn't have to put the hole punch through a really thick page and the plastic. Now, the laminator, this is kind of funny. I'm a teacher. My husband is also a teacher. We both work in situations where there are laminators at work, but particularly where I work, our laminator's broken, so that wasn't an option. But his laminator, he works at kind of a small school, and he said it's just kind of a pain because there are people who have sand allergies. You have to wait until everybody's out of the building before you can laminate anything. He didn't want to bother, so he bought a laminator, and he just wanted to use it for school-related stuff. But then I just went to Walmart, and I got laminating pages that weren't even the company type. His is called a swing line. I don't know if you can see it there. There's the laminator that I used right there, see? And the ones I got were Mead or whatever Walmart would have, and they worked perfect. So, and I'm going to show you a laminated page and what it looks like when it comes out. Probably for a lot of you guys this isn't like a big, but I was amazed at how well it worked. And to be able to just laminate at home. So it was just great. Once I got all my dividers ready, I just fed them all through. The one thing is that all the laminating pages are like, we call it A4 size, like regular letter size pages. So you'll see what I mean here in a second. So when you put it through the laminator, it's kind of too bad because you can only put in one page per lamination. But anyway, I didn't care. It wasn't that, the laminating pages weren't that expensive. So then once I laminated them, I had to cut around these little things here, and I cut them all out. And then like I say, I hole punched them again, and now they're all ready to go. So they have like a really pretty front. There's the back of that one. So then she has her monthly calendar, her weekly calendar. You see, it's got kind of the rose color. And then on the back, it has this kind of pretty key pattern. And then she has pages for general notes. And see, it's got a nice gloss. It's very nice and thick and sturdy. And then I use this kind of pretty plaid, old-fashioned kind of plaid on the back of that one. And then for the last one, I just put address instead of addresses because I didn't want it to be too long. But then this one's kind of this pretty blue, and then I use this nice little, and so then you can see on the back, it looks really pretty from the back with the different patterns on it. Okay? So, now, when you laminate using that machine, if your page is thick, you might get, I'm going to show you just quickly, I'm going to show you all of these ones, but this is the pattern I used for my my work Holborn. This is the set I used. And I don't know if you can see that, but you can, like, it maybe leaves a little bit of a gap. You see what I mean? It doesn't go right over to the edge, although I find this laminator is great, like it really went to the edge almost completely, but just right there, it didn't go right to the edge. But you know what? You can still cut right around that, because when you use a laminator that's heated like this, it glues right down onto everything. So even if this isn't perfectly glued down, this is all glued down. So you can cut right around it and come in quite close, if you see what I'm saying. Okay? So like, here's a page that I did. And I'm going to show you all the rest of the ones that I did. So those are the ones for my mom. I'm going to take them over to her today, but I just wanted to show them before I took them. Maybe I'll show the work ones next. Now, the work ones are these. And so what I used for these were regular dividers. Now, if you've seen my videos before, you know that what I do is, if I see dividers or file folders that are pretty anywhere, I grab them. Because you never know when you're going to use them. I've had these since September, because these came out at the beginning of school. So I grabbed a bunch of these, and I had 2 sets, thank goodness, because I actually screwed up a couple of things on them, so I had to use them. And then it turned out that I wanted to have even more than just, because it came with 4, and I wanted more than that. So then I started to repeat again. So I just used the tabs that came with these dividers. You see, they had tabs that go with them. So what I did was, like, okay, this one is this one. Because I have 2 sets, so I'll just go to this one. Okay? So this one is this one, right? So I just took it and used a Filofax page as a guide, like so, right? Sorry. So you do it like this, and let the tabs stick out, and then I use paper clips, and I just cut right around it, okay? So, now the tabs are kind of big, but that's okay, especially with this whole one. I feel like maybe the zips are a bit bigger, because when you, see, it doesn't go over far or anything. Everything fits in really nicely, okay? So that was, but this is what I was talking about. This has these lines on the back. It's supposed to be for notes, but I don't want those there. I don't like it, okay? So what I did was, I used some really pretty scrapbook paper I had, and I just tried to use coordinating colors, right? And I just put a back on it. So I measured it out. Now, of course, this doesn't have that colored tab. And I made the decision to not put my categories on both sides. Sorry, I'm probably moving this around too much. In the past, I have put my categories on both sides. But I didn't feel it was necessary. If I decide I want to, I could just use my Dymo label maker and just put the clear label on there. It would be very easy to do, and it wouldn't cause any problems. I'm sure it would stick right on. What I did, though, was once I had it all cut out, so I didn't use 3 layers for this. I just used this, and then a piece of scrapbook paper. Once I cut it out, then I cut a piece of corresponding scrapbook paper, put it on the back, and then I used my label maker and made the labels out of the clear tape. I stuck them on, and then I put it through the laminator, and they came out like this. Okay, so then you just cut around it. I haven't hole punched it, like I said. I hole punched it before I put it in, and then I'm going to hole punch it again afterwards, so that you don't have to go through 2 layers. And see, look, there's the back of that one. Aren't they gorgeous? I love them. I absolutely love them. This pack was called Arabian Nights or Bohemian Nights or something. So I can show you now with my diary, my work diary. I have 3 different calendars, and this is what I did last year, and I loved it. So I have your monthly calendar, which is right there, and you saw my divider there. So I've got that really pretty aqua, and then the pretty green on the back. Okay. So then this is my weekly calendar. Okay. So there's that. It's a very nice green. It's all very sort of exotic looking, right? So there's weekly. And then there's the back of that one. I just used scrapbook paper and, did the exact same thing. Cut around it, glued it all together. And I'll tell you what's kind of neat too, is like when you laminate these things, it really kind of like ups the ante. It makes it look, even if your edges aren't perfectly straight, it just makes everything look really nicely professional and really organized. See how that caught there? If you saw my previous video, I love this hole born, but it's got a gap there and stuff catches on it. But anyway, I'm just going to keep keeping on. And what I did was I just tried to find scrapbook paper to back it with that kind of corresponded with what was in front and kind of goes with the color theme, and it's sort of an exotic theme, right? I think this will be so nice for work. It's not too much. It's kind of classy looking, but it's just, I just love it. So this is my weekly calendar. So what I do for my weekly is I just have the week per page, which I also have in my my personal hope. I like this. I like this because you can see 2 weeks in a glance. So you have your monthly one where you can see the whole month. Then you can do this. You can see things that are coming up. I don't always put everything on both of these. Sometimes I'll just put down, like on this I might put down what I'm going to do each day after school. I have a horse, so I go visit my horse quite often and do stuff like that. So then I also have my daily calendar. Now, let's see if I can get this without too much issue. There's the daily one, also very pretty. It's a pink color, and again I just used the tab that was already existing, and then I put a pretty corresponding color on the back, scrapbook piece. Okay, and then I just laminated it. And so I had been using this business day per page, and I decided to just go to a straight day per page. Well, I don't know. I liked, if you've seen my videos, I used to put up here what I wore every day, just to make sure, like I said, there are some meetings that I have a meeting at the same time every week, and I wanted to make sure I didn't wear, I know that sounds silly, but I want to make sure I wasn't wearing like the same thing to every meeting. This has appointments, this has to-dos, but then a lot of these I wasn't using for what they were saying. It's tasks to delegate, personal reminders. So this is what I ended up with. But see, I like that they had columns. You can't really see it, I'm sorry, I'm not really good at focusing, but I like that they had columns for checklists. Like, you check this off. This one doesn't have that. It's just an open page. You've got your times, and then you've got a section here where you can write down extra stuff. So we'll see. I mean, I can still write down my clothing here, and I can kind of make it work that way, I guess. So anyway, we'll see. But I really like that system of having the grid calendar, the week on a page, and then the daily calendar for planning and all that kind of stuff. Now, oh, and for my page divider, I use the clear Filofax ruler thing there. Now, you can see here, from the back, these look so pretty. Look at them. There's a green, right? So I just didn't want to bother to put the word on there again, because I just think they look so nice like that. Now, this is my to-do. Here, I'll get the thing back down. Sorry if I'm moving this around too much. There's my to-do page. It's kind of a pretty green paisley. Again, all part of that set. And I just used, now, they didn't all fit on perfectly, right, because they're a little bit long. So I trimmed that one down, but you can't hardly even tell. It's only a little bit shorter. Do you see what I mean? I had to cut, I probably cut off like that much off the bottom, right, because it didn't all fit. But I was fortunate. I kind of organized it that way that it's just a small, just to-do sheet. So that's the next one. You can see it has a very pretty back on it, and look how they all look so nice from behind, all laminated, all nice and sturdy. Then I have a meetings one here that so then what I did was I just started again with the same, because I had more categories that I wanted to fill. So I did the same one. I put a different back on it though, like that. This is a page I don't really want. It's got a little bit personal stuff on it. So, and then again you can see them all kind of all just along here like this. And then this set came with an envelope, or a folder sheet, which is really nice. So this is my finances section, and I had that last time. I loved it because I could just stick receipts or bills in here, and I would be reminded to use those there. So that's kind of the start of my financial section. I have this receipts envelope also that I got from a business pack that I ordered from Filofax. Then I've got some of these sheets, and I've got some personal stuff and goals and things like that regarding to finances. So my contacts are back here too. I didn't bother to do a contacts page because my contacts are kind of, they're a little bit smaller. They're sunken in a little bit, but that's okay. I know where they are, so I don't think I need to do a divider for that. And then I found another envelope that I had from ages ago that I thought really fit nicely, so I just put that at the back. And I had one of these before, and I got rid of it because I didn't really match my color scheme, but I think this one looks quite nice with everything. And I had gotten a bunch of these pens. Look at these. I got these for 47 cents at Staples. So I've got two more still, so I just stuck that on. I really like that. That's my fountain pen that I like to have with me, but that I don't use all the time. So I just